Hey, Lance
enjoy
Tormey.
it. Yeah,
We are in phase 2.
We are.
How does it feel?
Frankly, I feels great.
Good. You only have to use 25% of the news. And so we'll just have to work around that for now.
That's usually my regular thing anyway, isn't it? Usually. Anyway, we have guests in the studio this morning. We love our guests. CEO of the Greater Yakima Chamber of Commerce. We have Miss Verlynn Best in the house this morning. Good morning, Verlynn.
Good morning, gentlemen.
And
Morning,
we
Verlynn.
have the unofficial mayor of downtown Yakima, Mr. Joe Mann.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Very well, Joe. Good morning. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Sure.
Well, COVID-19, Yakima, Verlynn shaking her head, frustrated.
We're frustrated again.
We're at 25%. Yeah. I was eating in a restaurant Saturday night, so that was nice.
Yeah, we're going to take anything we can get, but
Yeah.
this is crumbs.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still
Yeah.
75% not open.
Yeah.
And I don't know about anybody else, but you're 25%, 75%. What's your profit margin?
Yeah.
And how long can you operate under that? And what we're waiting for now is, in order to set goals and have a plan, we need to know what 3 and 4 look like. And we've been told we don't have a plan for those. So we're kind of, businesses are kind of going, what's next? What are we going to do? And as far as I'm concerned, we need to just be for and get it over with. I mean, we're getting vaccinated, and we've been masking. We've been doing everything we've been asked to do. It's time to open and get on with life. And the schools. I was just reading a huge article on Seattle schools not opening yet at all. Between the union and the superintendents, they just can't figure it out. Well, my granddaughter's been in school for about 5 or 6 months, and she's actually an at-risk child. And we got clearance from her to go to school from Children's Hospital. So what do they know that the governor doesn't? So maybe we just need to move forward.
Let's start with this. There's a whole lot the governor doesn't know. Let's go with that right off the bat. Put that one to rest right away. You make a very good point. I mean, if we're not given the target, how you're just shooting in the dark, right? If the state can't determine what would constitute phases 3 and 4 that are reasonable, then I'm with you. Why don't we just do our own thing and assume we're doing it right? With the lack of any other evidence or guidance, right?
Yeah, we have to be pressing forward. We can't expect businesses to operate at a 25%. I don't know about you guys, but when you're 75% still closed, the profit margin probably isn't that great, and they're still struggling.
No,
they're not. You need to be completely open and operating like all the essential
Right.
businesses.
We can't rest on the success of pointing out a mistake, and so that we got to phase 2. Joanne, you're pretty wired into downtown and talking to folks. What are you hearing from your fellow business folks?
There's a lot more people traveling downtown, and luckily for our community, we have a lot of people who want to support the local businesses. And so whenever they can go out, they are going out, and they're supporting those local businesses. I'm one of the lucky few. Our business has been pretty darn good, and we're limiting it to 8 to 10 people at a time, so we can socially distance and we can follow the rules. And but retail is a little different animal than say a nightclub or a dinner place or a restaurant, and that's hard to operate on 25%. And so people keep going out as much as you can every day. Go out and visit those local businesses, and so that's the important thing we can do right now in phase 2.
And there's some groups doing cash mobs and that type of thing throughout the community. There's 2 different groups.
What's the cash mob?
It's like they'll pick a small business, and then they ask everybody to go there and do business that day, or a restaurant. Everybody go and order lunch there, and just push some of the smaller ones. Because those are the ones that really have been egregiously hurt. Because you got to think, when's March, and that makes it almost a year. Some of these businesses have been operating at 0 and now just 25%. Now, there's a year of loss there that has to be made up for, and that's why we need to get open. And when you talk about the governor's plan, the governor needs to be working with legislators on both sides of the aisle, period. He doesn't need to be doing this with a little group of his buddies. He needs to be doing it with the legislators and the people we picked to be our voices for our communities.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that he hasn't done on both sides, either side of the aisle. So it's time to come together and exercise those three forms of government we're supposed to have.
You know, and we're not alone. I'm reading out of Creme 2 News this morning that the Spokane mayor, Nadine Woodward, is lobbying for the governor to include Eastern Washington in the planning processes for phases 3 and 4, several days after the East region, including Spokane, entered phase 2. So, you know, she's saying so far the governor's office hasn't released plans. This is a challenge Eastern Washington has faced during the entire pandemic. It's why we should be part of the discussion to move forward. How many other states have had to overcome this obstacle? Very few, Woodward wrote. So she, you know, over in Spokane, they're just all Eastern Washington seems to just be ignored.
Yes, and we have been held, I feel like, to a different standard. And so it's time to the legislators, and I know our mayor and our commissioners and everybody's fighting for us in this community to get us open. And I mean, like they said, we've done everything he ever asked of us and then some. And our reward is, you know, luckily somebody discovered the little math era, or we'd still be one.
Jeez.
Well, I love the idea of cash mobs. I also like the idea of pitchforks and torch mobs heading toward Olympia as well. It's another kind of mob that I'm fond of at a time like this. But yeah, we've got to
Hold me back. I'm joining Dave.
I was going to say we've got to, you know, we've got to continue to press. You know, I don't know how coordinated the eastern half of the state is. I know that the commissioners do talk to each other in other counties and all of that, but they really need, if it's a caravan or whatever it is, to go and say, look, you can't hold us in limbo forever. You know, nature abhors a vacuum. We'll find a way. We'll fill it our way. And you want to be dealing with problems on the back end or goals and accomplishments on the front end. It's up to you to show leadership and to get it out there so we can move on. I suppose he's waiting for whatever science is going to come up with something. But it's got to be extremely frustrating. As good as it is to be at 25%, you're right. It's just it's peanuts compared to where we should be and could be by every measure. Like I watched a lawyer last night talking to Tucker Carlson about a bunch of business people in California saying, look, you know, these guys are adults. They know what they're doing. They've been running safe businesses their whole careers. We're just going to do our own thing here because the governor down there can't get things figured out. So probably he's going to take that kind of...
Well, I hear those rumors in Yakima, too. And I mean, people are ready. It's like, if you don't have a plan, then we're going to make our own, because leadership is having a plan.
Right.
So it's time to show us some leadership, and especially to Eastern Washington. We've been shut down the longest and the hardest hit. It's like I said, when they're appropriating money, we should be getting the lion's share of it, because we're the ones that have been shut down for a year or at one. And just barely now 2. And open and close, this new plan, if next week he decides that we shouldn't be open and close, I don't know anybody who can run a business like that. That'll put more under than it'll help.
You know, last time you were in here, you were saying a bunch of businesses we're closing. Or you talked to people that were closing business. Is that 25% enough to keep some open though?
Yeah, the thing is I've even talked to this with the YCDA people. We're not really going to know until it comes time to be fully open what we've really lost. And I can tell you, as a chamber CEO, we're a membership-driven organization, and we've seen some drops. I mean, we're working hard now. The chamber's a nonprofit. We run on membership, and if memberships start to drop, then we're at jeopardy. So we need to get out there. We need to help businesses get open, which is what we're doing. We're fighting for the life's blood of our community. And at the same time, we're trying to survive too. So It's like, we want people to be chamber members. We want to be able to support them and fight for them. And that's how you do it. But right now, basically, we're operating at 25%, and it doesn't work. And I've got a slew of businesses, we've had them call us, and we've worked with them individually. We'll work one-on-one with them to keep them as a member right now. We actually are putting together a relief grant for some of our memberships where the membership won't be as high for them. If they can't pay what they're owed, then let's work with them and keep them alive, keep them in the loop, and keep fighting for them.
Hey, if someone's listening right now, want to be part of your group, how do they do it?
Call 248-2021, and you can ask for me. I'll be glad to help you personally.
Right on.
Because right now, we're fighting for our community and our businesses. And like I tell everybody, we need to remember the names on the back of our Little League shirts that we see at games and stuff. It's the small businesses of this community that support our food bank, our rescues, etc. It isn't the big corporate businesses that really pour money into our community. It's small business, and we all need to be out supporting them and help us as a chamber, because we're out there fighting for you right now, and we're not going to stop. I got enough fight left in me that I want a plan. I want to know how we're going to achieve it, or else we're all going to start pushing a different direction. And I know there's groups out there that are organized and ready to execute a plan because they're frustrated. I mean, you can't look at a group of people and say, I don't have a plan for you. Well, then good. We'll make our own.
Yeah, right on.
Joe, you're known for creative ideas and certainly your love of Yakima that drives you to stay in the fight and continue to work on ideas and things like that. Anything that has crossed your mind, or ideas that you've heard from other states or other places, more that people can do than what we're doing now? Is there, if we could marshal the businesses into doing something, does anything come to your mind that we could do?
Well, a lot of little businesses are using e-marketing techniques, and they're doing shows online, and they're doing different things. They're reaching out to their core customer base, and,
Gotcha.
and that's helping them tremendously. And I marvel at some of the way our local people are doing, and it's making people stop and think. Those mom and pop businesses are stopping and think, hey, we can operate a little different way. We can reach out, we can show that we're still here, and we can deliver our product to people still. And so again, I just want to tell all those people watching, support those local mom and pops, because they've supported our valley for so long.
Do we think that, as some people have said, that some businesses will be totally changing their model? They'll never be the same as they were before.
Oh, correct.
Moving
Yes.
forward, we
Correct.
expect to
Yes,
see
we're
that.
hearing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one restaurant that rents from me, and they've gotten the technique down so much for their takeout that they're looking at a second location
As a takeout specialist?
as just a takeout only.
Wow.
Which place is that?
I don't. Since they haven't taken that step yet, I don't want to give away their secret. But,
Okay.
But they've been working on it very hard, and they're making their customers satisfied.
That's cool.
They're operating the same hours, and so it's just people will look at things differently, and thank God that some people are going through a learning technique during this, and they're seeing where their strengths are and where their weaknesses are. And,
We're adjusting. Lance is going to make up fewer stories, and I plan to tell fewer jokes moving into the future. We have that to look forward to in the Valley.
You guys, it's always very wonderful when you guys come in here, because
Inspiring. It's inspiring.
It really is. It really is. You're so much full of energy, and man, we want you guys on our team, and you are on our team, so that's great.
Yeah, this is Team Yakima. You
That's
got your
right.
T-shirts
Then
from
we
Joe.
did.
I want to see those online now.
Right on. You will.
So don't we have a mask giveaway coming up?
Yes, we do have a mask giveaway Thursday and Friday at the Chamber of Commerce from 9 to 1. And it's drive-through. You pull in, and it's for individuals. It's for businesses. We make up 2 different bags to hand out. And you just pull up onto the curb. We come out, see what you want. We bring it out to you, and you're on your way. So it's nice and safe. But that way, we're continuing the protocol because we want to be open 100%. And we just need to tell the governor, we're doing everything you asked. Let us get open. We don't even want 3. We want to skip right to 4 and get down to business.
That's right. Verlynn Best with the Greater Yakima Chamber of Commerce. Joe Mann, good day.